What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Last Round Boxing Podcast. You got me, Roberto.
You got me, Johanan.
And you got me, Asael.
Let's talk boxing. We had a very big card, probably one of the biggest cards of the year this past weekend. Devin Haney versus Vasiliy Lomachenko. A lot of controversy revolving around this fight, the outcome, and everything to lead up to the fight. Would you guys have it?
Yeah, definitely very controversial. On Twitter, it was going viral for a very long time. People are still talking about it to this day. I had to rewatch the fight because you can't watch the fight one time and completely say decisively how the fight went. The commentators may play a role in it, the replay, stuff like that. Your emotions watching it for the first time. So I rewatched it and I gave it a 6-6 draw. I think going into the 12th round, if Lomachenko would have won that 12th round, I think he would have taken the fight 7-5. But I think Devin Haney took that last round, and with that he got a draw. And I don't think it was a big robbery how people are making it out to seem. It was a very close fight, very close rounds. They both had spots where they imposed their will. They both had decisive rounds. But there was a ton of swing rounds as well, and I think that the fight was a 6-6 draw.
Yeah, I like the narrative that when the scorecards are announced and the fighter that they wanted to win didn't win, they always yell out, robbery, it's rigged, fixed, corruption, stuff like that. But I think people have to remember that a close fight is not a robbery. This fight was definitely either a 6-6 or a 7-5 for either fighter. So regardless, it was no robbery. It was a very close fight, competitive. We were watching two high level fighters showcasing their skill set at the highest degree. This was elite boxing, and it was very hard to score. Being a judge, it was really being a judge for that fight must have been very difficult. Very difficult job. Like you said, we all rewatched it. I saw it the same way you did. I saw it a 6-6 on the second time. On the first time, when I first saw it live, I thought Devin Haney maybe edged it, but it was really way too close for me to even pick a clear winner for that one when I first saw it the first time. But no, second time, yeah, this rewatch, I saw it 6-6. I had Lomachenko Lomachenko up in the last round until he lost it, and I saw Haney tying the scores. But regardless, yeah, close fight. Very controversial based on how Twitter or social media in general is reacting. Everyone's throwing shade at Haney, at the judges, calling for corruption. So, yeah, it's very interesting to see right now.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. People are calling it the biggest robbery in boxing. And I'm like, nowhere near it. It was a close fight. So
you're okay with Haney winning?
I am okay with Haney winning.
Even though you saw it as a draw.
Yeah, I saw it as a draw. But again, so many swing rounds, so many opportunities where when we start dissecting the fight, both fighters, kind of did what they had to do. Lomachenko was landing clean shots. But his problem was he was fighting only in spurts. He had only a couple moments in the round. So if you favor clean shots and clean shots and these sparks of dominance, then you might give him the round. But besides those moments in rounds, Haney was usually in control of the fight. He was not landing the jab, but he was throwing a good body work. It was going at a pace that favored him because, as you can see, Loma wanted to throw combinations. He would have loved to have a more higher-paced fight, but the majority of the rounds were paced in favor of Haney, and I think that was Haney, being more in control of the fight, in general. But in close spurts and punches landed cleanly, it was Lomachenko.
Yeah, and I believe even the numbers at the end of the fight, it showed Loma, I think, not outlanding, but definitely throwing a lot more. And I think he was also outlanded Devin Haney. So
I believe so.
Theoretically, if we go based off of the boxing hit and not get hit, it should. But when you look at it, I think it's very important to look at fights again especially if you watch them live, because as you guys said, the excitement, the emotion, the adrenaline, and especially on top of that, if you have money on it, well, especially you're definitely being biased and heavily favoring whatever fighter you got money on or want to win. But yeah, I think we all taking a look back at it again. I can definitely see a draw, a draw. But it's almost as if it's really hard. Being the job of a judge is really hard. But every once in a while, I feel like, especially that round 10 from David Moretti, I feel like it should have been. He gave it to Haney, but I think it should have been a Loma.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about that round. A lot of people are talking about David Moretti's scorecard as he gave the widest scorecard in 8-4 in favor of Devin Haney. And just like you said, that scorecard was because of that 10th round. So I think if people watched the fight, it was a pretty clear Lomachenko round, that round.
Yeah.
But even if you give him that round, I'll concede, yeah, he won that round. In his scorecard, it would still been a 7-5 in favor of Devin Haney.
It would have still been a UD.
It wouldn't have changed the decision.
That's the thing. When now that I rewatched it, I see it as a draw, but I can see it being favored a little towards Loma instead of Haney. Unlike the first time I saw it, and also I think another close round that I saw was the 9th round. That 9th round was a really big swing round for me. Because the first couple rounds were really competitive. I saw Haney win first round, followed by Lomachenko winning the next two, followed by Haney winning again, and they're just going kind of like back and forth, building up their points. But that night, something about that 9th round, I don't know. I feel if someone would have won clearly that 9th round, this would have been a different scorecard in my opinion. Because the last like 3 the championship rounds were I saw Lomachenko winning it 2-1, and I saw Loma winning the 8th. I saw him win the 10th, 11th, and so those last couple rounds were really important, and I feel that 9th round was really competitive if you look back at it.
Yeah, just like you said, many swing rounds, and that's why I don't buy into the whole narrative of super big robbery, a clear winner. Because it really wasn't a clear winner. There's so much, like, depending on what a person favors in like a boxing fight. Let's say distance, control, hit and not get hit, or being the aggressor. There's a lot of things that different judges prefer in a fight, and that will change your outcome of the fight and how you score the fight. So I don't think it was definitely not a clear win either way. It was very messy, a lot of swing rounds, very close, and I'm not angry at the scorecard. I would have preferred a draw because I think that would have made more sense. But I can see where they're coming from at a 7-5 for Devin Haney.
Yeah, no, it's very hard because the judges have a job to maintain unbiased and try to be fair, but it's really hard with everything of that going on. But if I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty sure it should have been a draw. I think just overall, I think it should have been a draw. Rewatching it again, you do see those things, more of the game plan of what both fighters were going into. And I guess what you really look at right off the bat off of a live fight is just seeing who gets touched, and it was definitely seemed as though the numbers show that Haney was getting touched, but now looking back at it again, you can see it at a more, not all
more unbiased, more fair.
That you see that Haney was actually doing a good job of being able to control Loma, picking the spots to dig into the body, the spurs, the hugs, the clinches, and stuff like that. But no, I really think it was a draw.
Yeah. Speaking about game plans, what did anything surprise you guys about their game plans? Because me personally, I was genuinely surprised about Devin Haney. I know he talked about that. He talked about his game plan a little bit in his post-fight press conference. I think his father mentioned it as well, where he said, "Yeah, we're gonna take the fight to him. We took the fight to him. We took the fight to him. Yeah, we're being the aggressor." And it's true. At the start of the fight, Devin Haney was going after Loma. It was very strange to see. So I wonder if that played a role in Haney because, he doesn't fight like that. He fights like jab, stick and move, be slick. But he wasn't fighting like that. He was fighting in spots like the aggressor. Sometimes he would revert back to the jab and then try to move, just land 2 punches and then move out of the way. But what'd you guys think about his game plan?
Speaking on that, would you say that because that was also a thing that was noticeable how Haney was trying to go after Lomachenko. Would you say that if Haney would have done that the whole entire fight, just gone after him instead of just trying to box him, do you think he would have had more success?
I think so because
those opening rounds were where he was doing that, and that's where it was really competitive back and forth until like the later rounds when I saw Haney fade a little bit towards the later rounds and revert back to his boxing. But no, yeah. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think so. I think he would have done a better job because I think Teofimo Lopez kind of gave the blueprint. If you go forward and you're landing your body shots, it's very hard for Lomachenko to deal with that. His footwork is amazing, but there's certain things you can do while you're going forward that can mitigate him getting to your side. Just like moving around with him, literally just going with him as he turns to the side, you turn to your right. And I think that Haney would have had a much better time, especially during those later rounds, like you said, where Lomachenko started to turn it up. I think it was because Haney was on the back foot, and his defense was not as good as his other fights. He was getting touched up, and he was getting touched up while on the back foot, and that did not look good in everyone's eyes.
Yeah, and not only that, but Lomachenko found a way to. I think Devin Haney's game plan was to come and really just use that left hand, have him calm him down, and I think the reason why Devin Haney wasn't able to push it the whole fight through is because Loma's left hand was actually touching him, and I think it was kind of putting I better chill, because it's actually like, especially at the beginning of the fight, when you have the most energy, those left hands, they don't have to be too strong, but just because you have 100% energy, they're definitely going to have a little bit more pop. So I think that kind of made him kind of stopped a little bit. So he's like, oh, shit, I'd rather just run a little bit more, just be a little bit more more defensive-minded maybe.
Yeah, I think you brought up a great point because Devin Haney is known for his jab. Mm-hmm. And in this fight, it was not that prevalent. No. It was definitely mitigated by Lomachenko. Lomachenko did a great job taking away Devin Haney's jab this fight. And that definitely brought some problems to Devin Haney because his core as a fighter is everything off of that jab. And like you said, Lomachenko was piecing him up with that left hand. He was just completely whenever Haney would throw a lazy jab, he'd make him pay for it.
I think also we have to take into consideration the fact, or the opponent that Devin Haney was fighting, because if you look back and you watch Haney against Kambosos, both fights, Kambosos is getting pieced up the whole fight, especially that second fight. Haney was just having his way with him, but like we have to remember that Lomachenko's a different level than Kambosos, and he's a lot smarter, a lot more experienced. He's just a higher pedigree. He's an A type fighter, So I think Haney, his jab, what he's used to doing against these lower type fighters, I feel like he was obviously gonna have a difficult time trying to impose his will, which it showed, yes. But yeah, I think we also have to take into, like I said, consideration the skill level that Lomachenko has. So it just kind of shows also the level of IQ that Lomachenko brought to the table.
Yeah, and Loma definitely he also didn't fight how he normally fights. Mm-hmm. He starts very slow in his other fights, and I think the lead up to this fight, everyone was telling him, "Oh, you can't be starting slow. You can't be starting slow. You can't be starting slow." And I think he finally took heed to that advice and actually because he started off pretty fast.
Yeah,
started off good. He started off good in the first 4 rounds. Some people have it 3-1 to Haney. Some people have it 2-2 even. Mm-hmm. And that's not typical in a Lomachenko fight. He usually always loses the rounds at the very beginning. So I think it was a good job by him to start fast, and his feints were amazing this fight. His game plan, it did have flaws. He just fight in spurts. He wouldn't fight for the whole round, or he wouldn't finish the round with a statement. But what he did do, he did very well.
Yeah, and I think that's actually I think now what do you call it? Father Time is definitely it looks like it's caught up to
Knocking on his door.
Yeah, knocking on his door because even in prior fights of Loma's where he's able to and this is against guys who are big 135 pounders that Japanese fighter the Jaime Ortiz when he's able to land a good punch Loma he automatically is able to then land an extra 2-3 punches right off the bat and against Haney he wasn't able to do that. I think that's a little bit show tell signs of him
Of age.
Yeah, unfortunately, but still props to him because he really said it at the beginning of this of the fight week. He said that Haney is just a one-dimensional fighter with the jab, and I guess props to Devin Haney too because even though without the jab, how he normally sticks it, throws it, he was able to overcome that with just the sheer physicality, the clinches,
The body work. Yeah, absolutely. I think that yeah, Loma, he put up a very good performance for his age, and like it's already on the back end of his career. He's 35 years old now.
Yeah.
He was at war. He had like a long layoff, and he put up a great performance and probably one of his best performances. You could really tell he was putting it all on the line in the lead up to this fight. A lot of people were saying this might be your last chance to get undisputed, and I think he really did internalize that, and he really put it all on the line, everything on the line. So it's sad to see, It's sad to see he gets this. He comes short once again in another undisputed title shot.
Yeah, but the thing is, yeah, he may have lost, but like you said, he put up a really great performance. And because a lot of people were writing him off. They were saying he's too old, he's washed up, he's not the same, based on his last performance against Ortiz. And Haney was coming up with a lot of momentum, just absolutely dominating everyone. So this really showed. I feel Lomachenko, even though he came up short. He got a lot of respect. I feel he's really more respected now than he was even like a month or two ago. He's really well respected at this moment. And people are still saying, hey, like this dude still has a lot to give. Like what's next for Lomachenko is the next big question.
Yeah, that's what. There was some talk about him retiring if he lost this fight, and well, he lost. And they asked him in the ring and also in the post-fight press conference or post-fight conference, and he said no. He's like, "What's next?" He said, "What's next?" So it seems he still has some in the tank. It still seems he still has ambitions that he wants to complete in boxing. I'm interested to see which direction he goes because I don't see him getting a rematch. I don't see him getting another shot at undisputed against Haney for a while. So, and I don't see him going up to 140. So maybe 130, I don't know. We'll have to see what he decides and what he feels comfortable with.
I saw a couple of talks. Some of the other, I saw a tweet saying that he could go down to 130. And you got that Foster dude. You got Navarrete. You got, can't remember the other two. But I think he could make some noise if he were to go down 130. He's still, I think it would be a more optimal weight for him as well. So I wouldn't be, I would like to see him go down there because essentially this is what he wanted. He wanted to become undisputed, at 135. It's not possible. We'll go to 130 then. If he still feels like he still has gas in the tank, well, I feel like he should go for it. Definitely against like even us, at least for me, in my opinion, we were writing him off. Old, Haney's too young, bigger and everything, and Loma really kind of shut that down, really.
Yeah, we were writing him off in our prediction. We all said that Haney was gonna win pretty comfortably. I thought he was gonna put a beating on him, honestly. So he did. Yeah, he showed a good performance. He showed why he's the fastest 3-division world champion. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't know.
Not only that, but like I feel like the people also want him to become undisputed. Did you see everyone else? I'm not just talking about like reporters or just people on Twitter as well, but you got Shakur saying that Loma won. You got Bud Crawford, Sean Porter.
You had
Reynoso saying, and a whole bunch of other prominent figures within the boxing world, fighters as well, saying that they believe that close fight, very competitive fight, but Loma had it on the edge.
Yeah, everyone was saying that. I saw even some UFC guys started piping in and started saying, yeah, that Lomachenko won the fight, this and that. So, yeah, it's an interesting time right now for Lomachenko. I'm sure he's scratching his head and saying, like, now what? What do I do now?
That's true, but I think we also gotta look at the other side and look at Devin Haney and see what's next for him. It was clear that this man is really outgrowing his body for 135. I'm predicting this was his last fight at 135. I think he might have one fight at 140. See how he does. But I don't know. The chances of him fighting at 135 again, I feel are really slim unless like the money's right with the right opponent, like a Gervonta Davis or a Shakur Stevenson. That's the fight I low key do want to see. A Shakur Stevenson against Haney, because based on this fight, I mean Shakur, you could make the argument that Shakur hasn't fought any level of opposition near as Lomachenko. So people at the moment are kind of writing off Haney because they're like, oh, like based on this performance, Shakur beats Haney, and like you could make argument that yeah he could based on the fact that he's a southpaw, he's a lot younger, he's really sharp with his counters, he's just a really good boxer overall. But yeah, I think that's a fight I'd like to see next. If a Gervonta Davis fight doesn't happen.
Yeah, just like you said, I think only I can only see Devin Haney staying at 135. If it's a big money fight like Gervonta Davis or Shakur Stevenson.
Or a Cambosis trilogy, right?
Yeah, I don't think that boy's going to get another shot at Undisputed. But I think that, yeah, he most likely he's going to go up to 140, see how he feels. So, he has options. He has a lot of options. You still got some big names. He could even fight Ryan Garcia, honestly.
To be honest, yeah.
Yeah,
when you're the champion, especially the undisputed champion, all 4 belts, you definitely are the one who calling the shots.
Exactly.
A-side and everything.
Everyone's knocking on his door. Everyone wants a shot at him now because they seen him as beatable. Mm-hmm. They shown he's human. He gets hit by shots and he gets rocked by shots.
He gets rocked by shots. And it doesn't have to be particularly hard.
It doesn't even have to be particularly exactly. Yeah. So
and not only that, but it's funny. I saw a clip of the post-fight press conference when they're sitting up and there's no ring right there. He was saying that he would like to fight a Tank fight would be sooner rather than later, but we never know. I think I'm not sure if we'll see that fight very soon, but I think what that's trying to tell me is that I think he's willing to stay at 135 if the money's right. He got $4 million against Loma. I think fighting a Tank or Shakur, he's definitely gonna want big money. Very big money. So I think. Again, money's right. I think he's gonna stay at 135.
Yeah, I can see him staying there. But I don't see him holding those belts in those fights, especially against I was gonna say Devin Haney against Tank Davis.
Yeah, okay. Who wins? Devin Haney against Gervonta Davis. Who do you guys got winning?
I got Gervonta Davis. I got him. I got him hurting him. Yeah. I got Tank just has too much power. He's too explosive. He's too young. He's just southpaw. I just see him posing too much problems for Devin Haney, and with that amount of power, getting him out of there.
Yeah, it's not even that, and he doesn't even have to have use too much power. Just the sheer explosiveness of not being able to see that left hand from Tank, I think is gonna sleep Devin. And I don't want to write him off like that, but just given based on the fights on this past fight that we saw with Loma, definitely I see a Tank sleeping Haney.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if you would have asked me like who would win in a fight between Haney and Gervonta like even like 6 months ago, I would have told you Haney would beat Gervonta Davis. But I mean they've both recently just fought. Based on their performance, I feel it's clear that I think Gervonta Davis would knock him out. Especially all those left hands that Lomachenko kept landing on Haney, and the fact that Loma isn't a big solid puncher like that. He's his power is based on accumulation, whereas Gervonta he is a power puncher. He's a heavy hitter, and so if Gervonta lands that left, a clean left down the middle, down the pipe, Haney's gonna feel it because Haney was clearly shaken up by a lot of the left that Lomachenko shot. So I'd be interested to see how he reacts to a Gervonta Davis left.
Yeah, Haney has a questionable chin now, because Lomachenko at 35 at a weight that's not his natural weight, going up in weight and not even known as a power puncher. He hurt him a couple of times. He rocked him. And so what's going to happen when a natural 135 pounder with power in both hands starts landing on Devin Haney?
Yes.
It's I don't see it going very well for him.
And not only that, but apart from that we always think Tank and power, but Tank has more than that within his whole arsenal. It's speed, explosiveness, in the ring IQ. That makes him very dangerous fighter overall.
Yeah, exactly. A very dangerous fighter. And also another thing to take into consideration, he's a southpaw, and Devin Haney he seemed to struggle against Lomachenko's his being southpaw.
Yeah.
He seemed to struggle. His jab wasn't as effective, and if his jab isn't as effective, he's not going to be able to keep Davis off, especially with no power as well.
That's true. But it's also I feel Devin Haney also struggled based on the fact of just Lomachenko's style of boxing. Because if you look at it, Gervonta and Lomachenko are two completely different stylistic fighters, And I believe that Lomachenko's style did give Haney a lot of problems just based on his movements, his fluidity. He was just really slick in there. He's really crafty. And Gervonta's not really like that. If you look at his last fights, he's more just like he takes the early rounds off. He's really calculated. He's not really he just try to find you with counter shots, And I think that's what that's probably what would benefit Haney a lot if they were to fight. The fact that Gervonta likes to wait and try to counter you, and plus he's smaller, he's shorter than Lomachenko, so Haney would have a better time, just jabbing and just keeping the range. So it'd be interesting to see a fight between Devin Haney and Gervonta. I think I still think Gervonta would win, but I think it's a fight that needs to happen. At least maybe this year, beginnings of next year.
Yeah, it's definitely a dream fight, especially at 135. And I think Davis would want that fight. I mean, he wants to dispute it at
most
135.
definitely.
Yeah,
So
now, yeah.
Yeah, so I'd see him pushing for that fight, and I think he does deserve that fight. He's been, fighting like top tier guys now for quite a minute, So I think he's ready for that fight, and he wants that fight, and hopefully that fight gets made in 2024.
Yeah, definitely. Plus, just staying on that, that's also for his legacy too. Like for Tank, people don't consider him as a true world champion, except maybe the first time when he fought at 126 and beat that Puerto Rican dude, Pedraza. Yeah, especially now with these different versions of WBA, I feel like now would be almost like cherry on top. Cherry on top. Yeah, fighting for undisputed, legitimize his career and everything. I think that would be good. I mean, yeah, it's a fight for boxing fans as well too. Might as well keep the momentum going. We got Ryan Garcia and Tank that just happened. Devin Haney, and Loma just happened. Keep it going. Let's see Tank and Haney.
Yeah, keep the momentum going. Hopefully that fight happens. I think very big name. It do numbers. You know what I'm saying? They don't have a rivalry, and they don't really have history like Devin Haney or like a Ryan Garcia where they met in the amateurs a lot.
Yeah, no.
But it's still a fight to be made. It's still a fight because Tank has to be like the top contender in the rankings. He should be. Yeah, he's been completely decimating everyone in his path.
He's been at that weight for a while.
He
should be.
Yeah, he should. You know what I'm saying? So,
but it goes back to the thing Tank on Showtime, Al Heyman, Devin Haney, Top Rank, ESPN, two different networks. Very hard to really come down and get those negotiations right.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. Hopefully that fight gets made 2024 at the earliest. So because just like you said, let's ride this boxing momentum right now. Let's keep on making the big fights happen. Let's prove everyone wrong. Everyone's saying, "Oh, fights are hard to make." Well, let's cut the bullshit and just make the fights.
That the people want to see.
Yeah, the people want to see, exactly. Yeah.
Another thing that the people saw was that switching topics a little bit, the whole Joe Fournier, KSI,
the overturned
decision. Yeah. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I mean, they had to do it. You know, the whole internet was watching them.
Yeah.
Everyone was watching them. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like it's so evident. It's like we have replays nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Technology has advanced. You know, newsflash. So for anyone saying that like it shouldn't be overturned, it's either they're either super biased on KSI or they're just like super casual and that don't know what they're talking about. Because any unbiased fair person would see that and be like, okay, that was an elbow. Like, come on.
No, yeah, like I remember seeing on Twitter people posting like the clip of KSI dropping Fournier, and they do a slow motion. They'd be like, oh, look, KSI actually grazed him with the fist, you know, before he actually hit him with the elbow. So he was already out before he got hit with the elbow. And I'm like, no way, bro. Like, if you look at the replay, you can clearly tell, like, Fournier's head snapped back the moment he got smacked with that forearm, with that elbow. So yeah, like what you said, you're either clearly biased or you're just a big casual. And either way, this was bound to happen. Like, I knew it was gonna get overturned. I was hoping it was gonna get overturned because if it wasn't, then a lot of questions would have been asked about that commission and its validity. You know, how just a lot of things would have been questioned about that commission if they wouldn't have overturned it.
Yeah, it was pretty. I like to get a laugh. I'm not even gonna lie. After the whole situation happened, I quickly went on Twitter to see what the people were saying. It was very hilarious, especially when they try to analyze and be like, "Oh, but he got hit with the right hand." So obviously, it doesn't matter if it was a elbow. Another right hand was gonna hit him either way. So you know.
Yeah, they make it. Yeah, they're like, oh, but he was already hurt. He was already finished. It's like, yes, I agree with you that I'm sure KSI would have finished him, but the fight ended with an illegal blow that finished the fight. So like, I don't care what you say. It's a no contest. Like, you can't make that argument and say it's a win by KSI. Like, even KSI, he came out with videos as well, still saying, oh, I thought I hit him with my punch, I grazed him, this and that, and this has been shown as well. This angered me.
Here's the thing, like, when you're fighting, you know when you hit someone, like KSI knew he hit him with an elbow. Come on, because when you make contact with like a certain part of your body, you know what hit, you know. So I know for a fact this man knew he hit him with an elbow, because the way he reacted when when Fournier dropped, I thought he'd be like a bit more crazy, but he was like, you know, just like walking around.
He was just mean mugging.
Yeah, mean mugging. That man knew he hit him with an elbow. Like, there's no way you can tell me he did not think he did.
Yeah, and he was also trying to make it seem like this is like happens in boxing and nothing happened. He brought up he brought up Chris Eubank Jr. versus Beefy Liam Smith. Yeah, he brought up that fight and he showed us some clip where Liam like kind of grazed him with an elbow, but he landed the full shot and he was saying, "Oh, this fight wasn't overturned. This and that. This and that." I was like, KSI, you're coping so hard, like
yeah, he's grasping.
He's reaching for the stars. This man was desperate. Like, just admit it. Like, everyone's seen it, and I think it just made him lose respect, because it's like everyone saw it. Like, whatever you say, it doesn't matter what you say. The video is there. The video clearly shows you knocked him out with an elbow. So just admit it. Be like, hey, like, I got him with a clean shot. I got a little excited and I hit him. It sucks, you know what I'm saying? But it should be overturned. No, he's like, oh, it should be a win, this and that. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Do we know what Team Fournier has stated since the overturned decision?
I mean, Fournier came out with a video, you know, just saying, you know, it was overturned and he's still undefeated. Then he was like, I want that rematch and this and that, so.
Yeah, he stated he wants the rematch, and then there's like, he started saying how like, oh, like a fight with Jake Paul or some stuff like that. You know, just trying to write off this trying
to get some more money.
Trying to get more money, trying to write off this wave, you know. I mean, fair play to him. He landed on the gold mine, you know. Got really lucky with that overturn of the appeal. So I mean, I can see Joe Fournier maybe fighting again on Misfits. Maybe not against KSI, but like maybe bring in a Tyron Woodley. You know, that'd be a really fun fight to see. You know? And then people can try to, you know, base off like, oh, who had the better opponent, KSI or Jake Paul? You know, it'd be really fun. You know, I guess.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, Joe Fournier is a businessman, huh? He wasted no time whatsoever to call out Jake Paul and anyone else within the influencer boxing scene. So, you know, props to him, I guess. You know, he could definitely fight again. So I think we'll very soon see Joe Fournier once again on the big screen.
Yeah, I'm sure if he wants it, I'm sure they'll definitely give it to him.
Yeah.
Misfits, I'm sure Misfits will be like, okay, sure, you want to fight again, you can fight again. You got a no contest, you got knocked out by an elbow, so go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
We have predictions.
Yeah, looking to the
Fight-
future.
Let's go to the future. May 27th, we got Lopez.
Two big fights.
Yeah, we got two big fights. We got El Venado Lopez versus Michael Conlan. And then Mauricio Lara versus
Leigh.
Liam.
Leigh Wood.
Lee Woods. The rematch. Who do you guys got?
Oh, I'm very excited, man. I'm very excited. I'm more excited about the Mauricio Lara versus versus the Woods.
Yeah.
But I'm also excited for that Venado Lopez versus Conlan. But man, I want Mauricio Lara to absolutely spark out Woods. Oh my, just like he did the last fight. I want it to be even more clear. I want him to knock him out. So I'm rooting for him heavy. I'm rooting for both Mexicans. I'm a Mexican. What can I say?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm rooting for Lara. I think Lara will get it done. I think he didn't seem prepared in the last fight. He was doing very good, and then he kind of gassed, or he kind of like stopped throwing punches. He was kind of just standing there, and luckily his God-given power saved him. So that's good to know. It's good to know that if all else fails, he's still got that one switch.
Oh, yeah.
So and I think he's also coming in much more angry, much more like I want this. So I think he's coming in hungrier. I got Lara winning, KO stoppage in the late rounds. Mid to late rounds, I'm feeling like 6-9, 6-9, 6-10 in between those rounds. I think Lara can get it done. And for the Lopez and Conlan fight, I got Lopez winning as well. I got him winning the decision. I got him winning a UD decision. I think that Conlan is tough, and I think he'll be able to stay in there with his boxing ability. But I think Lopez's unorthodox stance and his unorthodox way of fighting is going to pose a lot of problems, especially for somebody that likes to stick to the fundamentals like Conlan. I think he's going to pose a lot of problems for him. And along with Lopez's power, he's going to be able to pull out a UD over Conlan.
Yeah, so I gotta piggyback on what you said. I think for the Lara and Woods fight, I have Lara winning, like you said, mid rounds, type late-ish, 6-9. The thing I want to see more of Lara though is just more explosiveness, more combinations, because that's what he's known for, just exploding with just power punches with like 3, 4, 5 punch combination that clearly leaves the opponent dazed and like hurt and damages them. He's a heavy hitter. He's shown it time and time again how he hits hard, and that hook that he's got is his bread and butter punch.
Beauty,
beautiful punch. He has nice arsenal. He's been looking, the clips I've seen of him in this training camp. He's looking really good. He's really looking fast, looking explosive,
looking sharp, yeah.
Really powerful. So I'm expecting him to make this a lot more clear. More decisive. Not letting Woods actually like get back in the fight and start, dictating the pace. I see Lara starting off fast and then ending it, with explosive power. So I got Lara winning that fight. For the Venado and Conlan, I have Lopez winning a decision. He has power, but I don't think he's as a heavy-handed as Lara is. And plus, I think Conlan has a good boxing as well. Keep in mind, Conlan and Wood both had their fight was really competitive. It was really back and forth. And then Wood was able to get the best out of him. But like you said, I think Lopez's unorthodox style is really actually going to pose a threat. I don't think it's going to be a UD. I feel it might be closer, a split. I'm saying majority, based because it's also in Ireland. I feel they're gonna. It's a lot. It's hometown favorism for Conlan. But I think it's gonna be a majority decision for Lopez. The thing I hope he really fixes on is his defense, not having his head up. Because if Conlan just pops out the jab, he can just snap his head just back and forth. It's gonna look really bad. So yeah, hopefully he cleans up his defense. He's looking good in his training. He looks really good physically. He looks ready to go. So I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, very two fights that I'm very interested in. Just a lot of the build up behind it with Lara and Woods too. Definitely, I think there's a little thorn within Lara that's on the side, just kind of like bothering him a little bit because he knows damn well that he could have slept Woods a lot earlier.
He was whooping him.
He was whooping him. He was
Bad.
landing the clear hard punches that was fucking
Hurting
up
Woods. Yeah, he was rocked in that second round. I remember that second round.
And then all of a sudden, he just kind of like turned off the aggression, the come forward, and then which allowed Woods to just kind of like box him, piece him up a little bit, stuff like that. I'm not even sure what the situation was. I don't know if Lara kind of got gassed out or he just kind of just stopped. I don't know. Maybe he just wasn't on his A game that night. I guess. Well, up until the knockdown. So I believe going into the rematch, I believe he's gonna stop. I want to see he's gonna stop Woods, but the thing is, Woods is a warrior. Going back to that Conlan and Woods fight, Conlan was down on all three scorecards, and out of nowhere, in the 12th final round, he dropped. Not only does he drop Conlan, but he gets him out of the ring.
Oh, Woods was down on the scorecards?
Woods was down. Yeah.
Woods was down on the
Okay,
scorecards.
okay.
Yeah, Conlan was winning, and out of nowhere, Woods just knocks him out of the ring. Yeah, that's crazy. That's warrior type mentality. But I really think that Lara has his number. I just think he's just too strong, too much of a power puncher for Woods to be able to beat him. So I would say Lara, late TKO stoppage in the later rounds. I want to say like 9 and up. For the Vanilla Lopez and Conlan fight, I'm going to say split decision win for Lopez. I just think Lopez has a little bit of what do you call it? He makes a couple mistakes where he's been able to get away with it, but I think against a level opposition like Conlan, who is technically sound, he boxes really good. He's an Olympian. He is able to maintain a good equilibrium, balance, and everything. He has a really good jab. I think Lopez might struggle a little bit at the beginning, trying to get in, just based off Conlan's jab, height. I think he's gonna keep him at bay, and I think as the fights progress, Lopez will get the better of him, and I think he'll pull off a split decision in Michael's hometown. Yeah.
Wow, looks like we're on agreement
Agreement.
in both fights. It's like we're brothers or something, man. So, very excited. Yeah, very excited for this upcoming week.
Yeah.
These upcoming fights. A lot can happen. Anything can happen. But that's our expertly opinions, I guess.
Your opinions.
Yeah.
So, anything else you guys wanna?
I think last thing we should probably talk about is the KO of the year contender at the moment, Nakatani against Maloney. Vicious one punch knockout. That was insane. Watching that live, I was. He folded Maloney.
He folded him.
Absolutely folded him like a launcher. Folded him. It was crazy. What'd you guys think of it?
Yeah, it was insane. I mean, Nakatani surprised me. I didn't know who he was. This was his second division that he's a world champion in now. So he's already a previous world champion. He looked good, very, very good, very explosive, very heavy-handed. It seems his power is coming up with him. It was Andrew Maloney, I'm pretty sure, of the twins. Yeah, Andrew just could not keep up with him. He got knocked down in the second, I think in the 11th, and then sparked out in the 12th. Yeah, he was losing the fight. Andrew Maloney was losing the fight. Nakatani had a clear lead. He was in control. His power, his explosiveness, you know what I'm saying? He speed. Very, very, very complete fighter. And Maloney's corner actually was mentioning of stopping the fight going into the 12th round. Mm-hmm. And Maloney was like, no, okay, let me go. And, maybe they should have stopped the fight because that was a devastating one-punch knockout by Nakatani. He measured him with the jab, and I think Maloney was just done where he didn't even care. He was just going forward. boom, sat him down with the left hand, and it was Ashiro.
Dropped him, bro. That was
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah, he dropped.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't. I wouldn't be surprised if he sustained a leg injury just based off the fact how his legs went
Got folded.
right away. I was like, holy crap. But yeah, it's really hard, especially when you're in that trainer and you want to stop it, but your fighter's like, no, coach, I want to keep going. It's kind of hard because then all of the criticism is going to go onto you. But given that the case, I think Nakatani and his team came to that fight with a good game plan. There was no way that they were going to let Maloney win. Just based off like he has pretty good height for that weight class too. 5'7". I think he had him. There was no way Maloney could do anything about it. Yeah. So yeah, it ended like that.
Yeah, it could be a knockout of the year. You know, it's definitely a knockout contender right now. Because that was devastating. And the last round as well. And also, in those lower weight classes, it's not really seen like those devastating knockouts. Besides, like Inoue, which is finally he started to put on for like the little guys. Besides that, there's never really like those big one punch
KOs. Yeah, it's very unheard of. Was
this
115 or
115?
Yeah, 115.
115. So small guys, and that boy can pack a punch.
Yes, definitely.
So yeah.
And he threw all the momentum at that with that left hand. He just kind of like. Did you see that jab? He just kind of like.
He just measured him. That's all. That's what he was doing. And
I thought it was very obvious. It seemed like he was going to go for that left hand, but I think Maloney was already a bit out of it.
He looked exhausted, tired, and beat up.
And his corner was telling him, you have to get in there, you have to get in close and rip those hooks. And if you look back, that's what he was trying to do. He was going forward to getting close, and then he threw a left hook, but it left him wide open for a left hand right in the mouth. So that was Ashiro. Yeah.
Wow.
Great performance by Nakatani. I'd love to see him more in the future.
Yeah. Just based off like that I can think about the top of my head, his KO, and the one against Fundora and Mendoza to Fundora knockdown. I think those are two KOs that I'm thinking of right off the top of my head that can be.
Lara Woods as well.
Woods.
That was a great knockout as well.
Those three that I can think of, the knockout contenders.
Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia.
Yeah.
So, anything else?
No, I think
we got it.
I think we covered it.
We got it.
Yeah.
Let us know what you guys think. Let us know in our Discord who you guys have winning for the Devin Haney versus Vasiliy Lomachenko fight. We'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Follow our social medias in the link below. And yeah, it's been your boy Roberto.
Johanan.
And Asel.
And this is the Last Round Boxing Podcast. Peace.
Peace.